This podcast is brought to you by The Pod Tower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show. What have you been up to today?
Today was work and chores and dogs and juggling because I'm keeping up on my 5-ball practice. Damn it.
What color did you do your nails?
It looks black, but it's more like a charcoal kind of gray.
You went kind of MCR with it, but
what's MCR?
My Chemical Romance, you old man.
No, I didn't. I had black painted nails before they were born. Which might be true. How old are they?
Might be true, yeah. No. In your case, as a 202-year-old man, or whatever you said earlier.
How old is he? Oh, he's older than me.
Yeah, that adds up.
But I'm older than the band, so I've been painting my nails before the band did. Wait.
Oh my God! Were you in the? You're in the place I sent it. I think our server. You're in the place.
You want to sentence that one, dude?
Yeah, I do. No, I was. There was someone on Reddit that was like, "Oh my gosh, Watchtower Database, big fan. Been watching you."
2001. Sorry.
Oh yes. Well, yeah, because isn't the whole meme that they were created from 9/11 or something? I don't know. Anyway, funny memes. The comment on Reddit about like, I've been watching your channel since I was in, since I was in school, or since I was a student, and now I have a job or something like that.
Yeah.
Which didn't say anything weird to me, but then Mark had pointed out like they've been watching you since they were a kid, and then I sent a comment that we just got from Real EST Comics. Hi, if you're listening. Damn, you guys were making videos since I was 9. And like that's just on Watchtower Database, not anything I was making before that. And I just said like, don't even get me started on this comment. Like this is not okay. It says hope you doesn't make you feel old at the end of the comment, but it did. It definitely
Guess
did.
what, baby? Yeah. Baby child
baby child with a
all
broken back.
Born after the new millennium. Holy shit. How do you have a way to listen to this? You are too busy playing with blocks in preschool.
Sorry.
What the fuck? I'm Sorry.
Not. Okay. Well, greetings, babies, and welcome to episode 142 of Jump on the Bat-Wagon. I'm James.
Is that the new greeting?
Babies.
Greetings, babies.
Let's change it.
Greetings,
Just be really
Rosie.
condescending the entire time.
Oh, I got a dog. I got a rose dog. She's here. She's licking the sky. There? Look at her.
She's supposed to be playing with blocks. How'd she do it?
What are you doing, Rose? Go play with some blocks. You want some Post-it notes? Nope. No, she doesn't. Okay.
She immediately turned away.
Okay, sorry.
I have no use for those. Why would I want them?
Greetings, babies.
Greetings, babies. I'm James from the Watchtower Database YouTube channel.
And I'm Brian from not the Watchtower Database YouTube channel. Here
Brian
I
from
am,
the Watchtower Database website about page.
Discord. Is that true?
Yeah.
Sick.
You haven't looked at that?
No. Should I?
I'm here to show him, whoever he is, the entire DC animated universe from start to finish for the very first time. You're a baby to some.
I'm a DCAU baby.
Me. Yeah, that's true. It's like Muppet Babies, but it's like Batman. Small baby Batman.
DCAU babies.
Why do DCAU?
Why don't people?
No good.
Wait, what?
That was a concentration camp.
No, that's Dachau.
Yeah, I know. It's close enough.
That's too close. You're right. Oh, God. Sorry, babies.
we went to a Comic-Con a few years ago, and we were waiting by the like backstage area to talk to Phil Lamar, and the like security guy was asking us like what we do for the channel and whatever, and we're like, oh, we talk about these specific shows, the DCAU, and I showed him the business card, and he's like looking at it and just saw DCAU like spelled out like a word essentially, and he's just like, oh, you better be careful with like how you say that out loud, da 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 da. And I didn't understand at all what he was saying at the time, but then when like DCAU, like what is that? And then looked it up and like, oh no, that could be bad, but I don't think anyone's ever like actually thought that. It's more likely you'll think Watchtower is a Jehovah's Witness thing.
Oh yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like people. I mean, DCAU doesn't. It's not hard to say.
No,
but I feel like people would have said DCAU earlier. Maybe if that wasn't
cacao,
cacao.
Anyway, so he made you these shows where human beings experienced them in the far gone days of the 1900s. At the time of this recording,
6:17 p.m.
Superman the Animated Series is streaming on Max and available on DVD and Blu-ray.
You can say my dog and my other dog along,
if you want
listener,
to.
if you'd like.
It's like a call and response. Next live show, we'll just say Max and then point the microphones at the audience. They'll say the thing. They'll know what to do.
Hell yeah.
If you'd like to follow along, you can head over to Bit.ly, Brian's only dog, /watch DCAU. Link is in the show notes. Today we're watching Nighttime, Superman the Animated Series episode. And you said Superman would swoop in and save Metropolis, I think, which was just a great prediction.
Generalization.
yeah. Really putting yourself out there with that one.
Thank you.
This first aired Saturday. Yeah, I know. This first aired Saturday, October. I didn't have any further comment. I know.
Yeah.
October 10th, 1998. I've written Saturday correctly this time. I've been saying Friday for the last like 6 episodes because I keep forgetting to change it, but it's been Saturday for a long time. I know that's been ruining the podcast for you.
Oh my God. Yeah. Also, we've almost caught up to the date again.
You're right. We may do it again. I don't know.
We passed the date, but hopefully it'll do this.
It'll do one of these.
Yeah.
8 a.m. on Kids WB. 1 week
Great
after our
podcast.
last episode, Old Wounds. This aired 43rd and produced 45th. I have really disgusting Costco burps right now. They smell
Yeah, you
so
sent
bad.
me a Snapchat of you eating a Costco hot dog thing. And I sent
the forbidden glizzy. I put listen, listener, you know what it is. I put the hot dog in the chicken bake. We're Costco guys. Okay. It was good for 5 bites. And then I regretted it after that. It was like, oh, this is delicious. And then, oh no, this is way too much food. This is too much meat. This is disgusting. I feel horrible. And the burps are bad. So
yeah, you said, and I will quote you as accurately as I can in your Snapchat, that
this is going to hurt later.
It's going to hurt later. Yeah. And I think you're at the later.
Maybe. I have gotten Uncrustables right here to eat while we watch the episode.
Oh, God.
God.
Why do you
what
do this
mean?
to yourself?
It's peanut butter and jelly. What's wrong with you?
Jamie, go eat a potato.
Jessica's making box mac and cheese, which slaps.
Oh, as much as that slaps, man, you don't. You need. I'm going to need you to take down your processed food by at least 45%.
I think 100 would be.
When was the last time you ate an apple?
A couple of days ago, but I would eat another one.
It's probably like a salad.
You look so surprised.
Put apples in your salad.
A couple days ago. I'll just put apples in the forbidden glizzy next time. Written by Robert Goodman. Directed by Kurt Gaeta. Music is by Michael McQuistion. And animation is Coco Dong Yang. As
Who saw
always.
that coming?
Please head over to the link in the description to buy us a Yoppie beverage and support the show. We'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode and we'll plug your shit. We'll also, like the forbidden glizzy, we'll also do a push-up for every $1. So send us coffee for our health and your entertainment. Today's Yoppie Bevs come to us from the Geek Legacy.
Woo!
Back in the Bev station, What's the plug? It's the Milkman. No, the Yopton. No, wait. The Geek Legacy. Yeah, that's it. The Geek Legacy. All one word on Insta and Facebook. Thank you. Yoppie Bev.
Go check out those comics. And then, keep an eye out for the Milkman. If the Milkman's coming.
No, but 3 people know. Let's do push-ups. Do 5 push-ups.
Okay. 25 push-ups.
No.
1. Oh, okay.
2.
3.
4.
3.
5.
4. 5 glizzies.
What a nice, brief,
Who decided glizzy,
5.
though? That's
know.
more of a donut to me. Like, you say glizzy, like, let's go out for glizzies, donuts. We're doing donuts.
It does
That's
sound
fine.
like a donut,
At like 11 p.m. A glizzy's on an 11 p.m. donut.
It doesn't help that there's that, I think it's the Simpsons movie DVD menu has a donut, and then Homer's voice is going, forbidden donut, and he reaches for the donut to play the movie. So the forbidden, it's all part of the... Wow.
That's so good, man.
Thank you. Let's go watch the show.
Okay. Like now?
Yes.
Okay.
Three weeks ago, Bruce went to work like normal, then walked right out without saying a word to anyone.
We'll start with his computer records for that day.
So how'd you do Batman's voice?
Precise muscle control.
Plus, I have a pretty good ear. Don't do that again. I need a gizmo from your belt. Second pocket on the right.
All units respond to a disturbance on the second floor.
Unit 18, on our way.
Come on.
All this sneaking around isn't exactly my style.
What do you mean? It's half the fun.
Do you like my chapeau?
I was trying to... it's, movies to watch before you die hat, baseball cap that you have on.
Oh my God. All the podcast gear.
Dylan is here in spirit every episode. So I'm wearing Batman because I'm always wearing some sort of Batman something. And Brian's wearing
when you're on my podcast, you're always wearing Marvel things.
A Marvel thing, yeah.
Brian records naked.
Yeah.
This is canon.
Yes. And Kyle records wearing too many clothes for the attic that he sits in. That's very
Dude, it's so cold right now.
Oh, it is? Okay. All right.
How cold is it?
The weather today is 15 Celsius. But it's colder up here.
What does that mean in
either.
American? Yeah.
That's
I don't
not
know.
that cold.
No,
That's
it
like
was cold.
60?
Here's the reason why. My wife hasn't turned on the boiler yet, so the house is actually colder than the weather is outside.
Oh, I was so close. It's 59, not 60. My bad. I'm so happy to live in the I don't know, late 90s if you're in Europe or whatever and have a mini split system. So it's just like, I don't know, I want heat today. Click.
My brain went to 90s the decade and got really confused for about
That is what I meant.
I love VHS tapes and the race car that rewound really quickly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
this
remember
isn't a
those
joke.
rewinders.
No,
but
that was a real thing.
And the
mini
race car
split.
that was a bed, and the race car that was a tape player, and the race car that was a TV, and the race car.
Man, you guys, I was so jealous of the race car that's a toaster.
Oh, man. And the toaster that was a race car. That was really nice. Hey, we got Kyle from the Film Realists Podcast.
Oh my God.
That's the theme to the Film Realists Podcast. And he's going to tell us what happened here in this episode, Nighttime.
Synyap, synyap. If you're wondering,
Just like that.
After his little dance.
Synyap, what you just watched. Synyap, synyap. Take a listen to the synopsis. The short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
Kyle.
Yes.
Hi.
Where would we be without Cooney? Really?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Dead.
Just nowhere.
Dead on the street. dead in a exploded rocket outside the orbit of the planet, like Brainiac. Oh, Kyle, please tell us before I keep talking.
All right. So we're watching the episode Nighttime. Previously on the Ultimate Thrill, we see everyone's new favorite, horniest bad girl racing through an underground highway.
Really quick, before I forget about it, I do want to bring up Brian was somehow either confused or just stupid, but
What the fuck?
I'm so sorry. Just at the start of the episode,
Why can't it be both?
Yeah. What the fuck, man? I'm both. At the start of the episode, we see Roxy Rocket flying through a tunnel, and then Brian's like, haven't we already seen this episode? And I just went, no. And then she keeps flying, and there's Superman, there's the Daily Planet, all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, kinky rocket girl flying around in a tunnel, and there's about to be a chicken truck. Absurdly confused about Roxy Rocket being in a second episode.
It was less about Roxy Rocket being in a second episode and feeling like it was just like a clip show from the Batman
Shot for
episode
shot.
where she was
Yeah.
like going down the road, and it was a little too similar, and I was just like, but this is the beginning of a Superman episode, and it was a little too, not that, I mean, this episode's full of returning characters, right? And
Yeah.
it was just,
We don't have a single cast member that is not someone we've already had. So, yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, sorry, Kyle. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Please
And
continue.
so, yes, as stated, she flies into Superman, and she's like, oh, baby, he's strong and muscular. And Clark/Soup says, why are you here? And Batman has apparently gone missing, so Superman decides we don't actually know where he takes her. Where does Superman take Roxy Rocket? She just is never seen from again.
He takes her to his wank palace, I think, in the
Yeah, he
South
takes
Pole.
her
He's
to
like,
the
you know where
His
you're
goon
going.
cave?
He puts her in the zoo. How about this weird alien with a rocket? I don't know
You
what
get
to
a
do with her.
swing and a pole. Anyways,
What's she doing with the pole, Kyle?
I don't know. You tell me. There's
Dancing.
for some reason, lots of Kryptonian dollar bills on the ground. And then, so it's a cryptocurrency, quite literally. It's a cryptocurrency.
Currency. Hey, baby.
So we cut to a random jewelry store, and two just thugs
Dem
are
bums.
robbing it. You stole my joke. Which ones are dem bums? I hope it's not talking about Robin. So Robin is there, still trying to. Go ahead, Brian.
We had to just like, we saw that, we were both just like, damn bums, like what the hell is that? And then I had the wise ass comment that it's a good thing this wasn't the first episode of the podcast, or it wouldn't have been Yoppie Dudes. It would have just been dumb bums.
Yeah. Welcome back to the podcast with them bums.
It needs to be the shirt. That's the next jump on the Bat-Wagon t-shirt. Dem bums. But with a Z instead of an S to make it more 90s.
I don't know what that is.
Get out of here, Jamie.
Oh, I'm sorry. A Z. I'm sorry about that. The last letter in the alphabet is a Z.
Yeah, you're right.
And Robin is trying to prevent this crime, of course, doing, you know what? His one acrobatic move he does where he swings off of the coat rack.
Yeah.
That was quite impressive. Superman shows up and paint mixes all the remaining henchmen in this one truck.
Oh my
Here's
God.
my question. Why doesn't he kiss any of them? Is that only for
It's a
people
Metropolis
in
thing.
Metropolis?
Yeah,
It's a regional kissing.
Yeah, instead, like you said, you paint mixes. He flattens them, and he's like, and for good measure, I'm gonna smush them with a car as well.
I think regional kissing is already on my short list of subtitles.
And I like the back and forth with this, particularly because this is the real first time we've connected at all between Batman and Superman since.
Yeah.
World's Finest in any real way. And they have a conversation, and obviously Tim is a little argumentative, and then Superman is like, dude, I know, like, it's Bruce, which is kind of like we don't know if, I mean, the guys we're assuming are dead inside the truck,
Yeah.
but
Oh, they're
regardless,
toast.
maybe don't drop, they're so dead. And then they have the back and forth that Batman/Bruce has disappeared. They're going to investigate it, but just as they do, the bat signal lights up. And before I go on, I was curious for you guys, because I watched this on my Blu-ray. Was this episode shockingly out of focus?
Yes!
A lot?
Yes!
Okay.
Oh my God!
Like every other shot was just like at like 360p for some reason.
Yeah.
At best.
I don't remember. I feel bad. Obviously, you would have seen this recently, but there was the third anniversary for this coming to Blu-ray, and I felt so bad for Superman because James would know this, and many of the listeners would. But for Brian, this was out of the main lineup. This was the last show to get a Blu-ray, and they're like, "Here you go," and it's like so substandard compared to all the other box sets. Yeah, which is unfortunate. So watching that, I was like, "Oh my goodness, is this?"
Yeah, I had that thought with it because the Batman one is in this like beautiful, like custom cool box set with all these extra little gizmos and pop figures that come with it and all this stuff. And the Superman one is just like a flat, like nothing DVD case with all the discs like shoved into it awkwardly. And they're like, "We did it. Are you happy?" And I had that feeling during this episode because we kept pointing out how many like, why is this shot so out of focus? It could very well be. I mean, we've had that happen in Batman episodes too, where literally the shot when they filmed the cells was out of focus, and there's nothing they can do about that. But it just seemed shockingly.
But it was
weird,
per shot. Like it wasn't a moment. It was a full. It would cut to a scene or a shot or whatever, and that whole thing would be out of focus. Or I was wondering if it was like not a digital zoom, but like zoomed in, like.
Right.
Like they were cropping it in or something, so then the resolution was lower by proxy or what. But then it would cut to the next shot and suddenly it would be back in clear and focus and everything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because the Superman box set, like with Batman, they had the fancy deluxe one, which James and I obviously both have. But then they would release the kind of like consumer version. And
you could
then
just say
Superman
muggle or whatever.
Peasant. The peasant version. Superman only got the peasant version. It didn't get like a deluxe, which is especially frustrating. So we cut to on top of the GCPD, and we see Superman cosplaying as Batman, which I similar to some of the episodes James has talked about. The first time I ever saw this was on the DVDs and lost my mind just seeing. Because the Batman model of Superman wearing the costume is clearly like he's taken his like HGT or something, right? It's not just the actual Batman model, which I love about that. And the back and forth with Gordon being like, "You know who this random guy is, right?" And I laughed out loud when Robin walks away, whispers Bane, but it cuts to the bat ears.
The bat ear, not his actual ear. Well, see,
I am not smart enough to put that together in the moment. That's incredible.
Since we learned for the first time that Superman can do vocal cord changes in this, which I'm sure we'll add to the list when we get there. He can also like stretch and form fit his human ears into the bat ears. That's why we cut to the bat ears.
I hate that.
I'm gonna vote the power should be called throat magic for the voice. I'm
gonna back you up on that vote.
Okay, well, we'll get there. But really quick though, I did want to mention that Brian, when you I was happy to hear you say whenever, because I never know what you'll think of a certain like gimmick, if you'll enjoy it or think it's like the stupidest thing ever. But
that we're all guessing.
Yeah,
even me,
everyone. Yeah, but when he's like, "Oh, Batman's not going to show," or they get really mad when Batman doesn't show up, and he's like, "Well, this time he will," or whatever. And then when it cuts away, it's pretty obvious like what's about to happen.
Yeah,
and you said like. Oh, this could be fun or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, get into it.
Yeah, and that dynamic we get is so interesting because obviously, I mean, the biggest dichotomy between Batman and Superman is like the Boy Scout versus the guy clearly with a psychotic break. So seeing Clark try to portray that throughout this whole episode is super fun. So we learn that Bane is there, and we then go to investigate Wayne Enterprises, like what's happening to Bruce. We watch a video email in 1998 with better picture quality than we have now.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. I don't know.
And then we get, I believe, another first time power, which is like microscopic vision I couldn't remember if we'd seen this before.
I was kind
to
of
this level.
I think I was folding that in with bifocal spectacular. Like he can look real far, he can look real deep.
That's fair. Yeah,
it's the same thing, pretty much.
So we see the nanobots and the needle in the phone. They then continue their investigation, thinking, I don't know, for some reason, Bane's. I called them the League of Dweebs in my brain because we have Riddler's horrendous design, and then Mad Hatter and Bane.
And Bane's horrendous.
Brian has
so
opinions.
The Bane decision.
Go, Brian.
Opinions.
Hit us.
I have never, I don't think ever, maybe somewhere, I gotta revisit it, encountered such a disparity between the visuals of an animated character and the voice acting to go along with it. It was like you might as well have some like New York looking mobster being voiced by like a girl in kindergarten. It just doesn't fit. And like
You're talking about Bane?
Bane comes onto the screen. He's like, "Hello, everybody. Well, we're here to talk about what we're gonna do with Batman, and since he's not here, we're gonna take over the city. Gotham is gonna be crazy. Woo!" And it's just
You found his voice to be too like high pitched, or what?
it just didn't fit. It didn't fit at all.
Is it because you don't like the leather daddy look? Like, I get it.
I'm fine with the leather daddy look, like all things considered, like that's
What
not
do
the
you
most
want him to
egregious
sound like?
thing in this.
Brian wants him to be like, Riddler, choke me.
Well, I did hate like it was kind of. I mean, the whole episode is not. Is the focus is being the like, oh, Superman's dressed as Batman, like that's all the thing that you're paying attention to. So they didn't really need to be fleshed out that well, but I did think it was kind of dumb that they just like almost like threw darts at Batman villains and put them in a room. Like there's no rhyme or reason to why it's those three in particular.
Rhyme, you say? Well, then you have Mad Hatter rhyming while he's looking through a microscope later.
Yeah,
like what the fuck?
I was trying to figure
We're
out.
not
if that
there
was
yet,
an Alice in
Brian.
Wonderland.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
I just don't understand, like, before he had his weird kind of voice as well, but like the voice acting and like watching the Mad Hatter, like with the voice actor and the animation, it made sense. Watching the Riddler with his weird bodysuit thing and his voice
it's the
acting,
Adam
it's
West
fine.
costume. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah, it is. It
Right?
is. And then you at Robin and all these people like look like you take voice act. I feel like I take voice acting for granted. And when
it's good, you don't notice. When it's bad, you do.
Exactly.
It's like refereeing in sports.
And with Bane, I noticed a lot. It's like, who's the guy didn't have any like acting. He wasn't. He was just kind of like reading the stuff. It's like, oh ho
Riddler,
Batman, we're here. Blah, blah.
This.
Yeah, and just I got it. It just threw me. It absolutely, I completely lost me. Sorry for cutting you off.
That's okay. It's your podcast. I'm the guest. It's all good.
It's your
I'll
podcast. We all know it's Kyle's podcast. Come on.
Kyle's podcast. Yeah.
I feel so loved. Where were we? Yes. So they show up with the redesigned Cave of Horrors. And what I love about this
is
is
the three worst, besides Joker, I guess. It is like the three worst redesigns in a room. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what makes it more frustrating? It's up until we've seen next to nothing of Riddler.
Yeah.
And it's like he shows up for 5 seconds in this to me, which is more frustrating. So we have back and forth. And then what I love so much about this episode, because of the gimmick of Superman being Batman, you then obviously have Bane, and this fight goes back and forth. Bane thinks he's killed him with one of the heads from
Rapa Nui?
Some plate.
Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, where the Bionicles live. And then obviously Superman breaks out. They're like, what's going on? And I had to write a note of this, which is Superman gives Bane the worst CTE that we've ever experienced in the show, because the Foley sounds of him punching Bane to the point where it's normally like, oh, we got to do something, and then we've got to cut the tube, right? So all the venom slips out.
Yeah.
But he just beats him unconscious to the point where he is comatose face first on the ground. And then he's like, oh, I guess I'll unplug you. Boop.
With the out of focus shots, remind me about out of focus shots and Keen Effects. I don't want to get too deep into it.
Well, I didn't even bring the one up that really made me notice. And so then Mad Hatter's like, curiouser and curiouser, I didn't make these fucking bots. And then Superman's like, huh. aliens. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder, Clark, who could have done it?
Brian, before Brainiac came out of the wall, were you like, oh, it's Brainiac?
Yes.
Or were you not? Okay, yeah. Because I mean, like, obviously robot alien, who else could it be? But at the same time,
Well, it even had a
Superman's fought
similar-
like 20 other aliens.
It has
so-
similar
They
design
look like
element.
Brainiac.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
little dots with.
It has
like-
the three of them coming into view at the same time, like forming his logo, essentially.
Yeah, the triangle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I saw the triangle, I was like, it's Lobo. He's going to come in on his motorcycle. It's going to be amazing.
I thought it was going to be
Famous for
Promethean.
fragging lobos, for fragging triangles is what I was trying to say, but I fucked up. Anyway, continue what you were saying.
So yeah, Brainiac comes out of the wall, and what I like about this is we actually get more continuity from World's Finest because we get Superman essentially just giving us all the exposition, which is like, you were involved when Wayne Tech was involved with Luthor, like, and all of this tracks, which is super cool. And Bruce is just kind of like, I'm here. Everything's just happening around him.
Standing there, yeah.
Right? And then we get the fighting in space, or not in space, in the sky, in the Brainiac spaceship.
Probably just past the Carmen line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just makes a bunch of Star Wars sounds.
Yeah.
Like just they just
The
happen.
lasers and the like, kind of like, what are those called?
TIE fighter?
Oh my God, TIE fighters. Yeah,
TIE
sound
fighter
is
sounds.
happening.
Look at me go.
And
Look at me go.
yeah, I know Star Wars. There was a moment where Superman gets hit by one of the laser beams, and there's like a crackling thunder sound effect that's like copy paste from, I think, Empire Strikes Back. Like, it sounded really familiar. So yeah.
Yep, it is. And so then he goes into space. He can't disconnect his chest tube. He blows up, and we'll never see him again. And then we cut to the Batcave, and we see Bruce, and it's like, oh, I guess because Brainiac exploded, all of your Brainiac STIs are gone. And then Superman's like, and this was fun. And then he's like, you picked a good 10, or what did you call him in Never Fear? He weighs 20 pounds. You picked a good 20-pound-year-old sidekick. And then
20-pound-year-old.
20-pound-year-old. And then he flies out of the Batcave. And that's an angle on Wayne Manor we rarely see. Like the camera
down
would
at
have
the
been
water and stuff.
down at the water. And it's kind of Christopher Reeve-esque where he like sort of flies past it.
Oh yeah. He smiles and winks at the camera, and
Yeah. And that's the end.
That's the episode.
Okay,
Let me
bye.
tell you the official synopsis. Oh, sorry. It is. Superman plays dress up and disguises himself as Batman to confront Roxy Rocket, Penguin, and a host of other bad guys who are picking Gotham City clean in lieu of the real Batman's mysterious absence.
Oh, I did skip that. Superman does kick over a desk, but it's
Oh,
Penguin
does he
table. That was
ever?
the best part, yeah. I don't think they used in lieu of correctly, and also he does not confront Roxy Rocket as Batman, but I'll let it slide.
I would have loved if it was a long pause. Superman plays dress up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
discovers something new about himself, something he's not able to tell other people at this moment.
Yeah.
Because it's the 90s.
Yep.
When the policewoman's like, does he look bigger to you or whatever?
Because he's standing like
Okay,
Brian,
as someone who's just watched this for the first time, did that moment make any fucking sense to you? It has never made sense to me at all.
What
the
moment?
chin up.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I don't know if it's supposed to be a comment on how Superman's always standing like this, like pressing his chest out with his head up or something, because this Superman doesn't really typically do that. It's just like a classic like golden age pose of Superman standing there. So but when he does that, I've always just, is he trying to look under the mask at Gordon? Is he what the fuck is he doing?
My read on it was that he was trying to mimic Batman's aloofness. So he wasn't making eye contact. He was
Yeah,
just like
I'm
looking
not even
out.
going to look with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
It
how
could be
I've
any
always
of
read
this.
it. Like,
Okay.
it would have been better if he went like.
Yeah, held the
himself,
game
right?
really stupidly. Yeah.
He lands,
He
Commissioner,
walks across
I am the
like-
bat.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Just
funny
walks
because
slowly.
he's known Batman for like 2 days or something, like in the amount that he has to mimic him. So like, what did he see him do in World's Finest? I don't know. Whatever that
He
was.
jumps really high.
yeah. Just like when he's fighting those robots. Yeah. He's like, Batman can clearly jump this high. I do like I think those are the best parts of the episode, probably agreeably, is just the times where Superman is having to pretend to be Batman but slightly failing at it, so he's just doing something really wrong, like when he kicks the Penguin desk over like way too fucking hard. Or
This is Sparta's it. Like he's like, oh, kick it. All right. Fuck it.
yeah. Or when I do also just like the visual of Superman sitting next to Robin at the Bat computer, like he just looks so dorky sitting there, like doing typey things, like just not used to seeing that. I guess.
The interesting thing for me, and something I hadn't thought about, was the amount of times we've seen like Batman and Robin hanging out in the Bat cave on the computer, and they're just in full costume and typing, and like Superman has the wherewithal to like take the cowl off because like you're already in a hidden space. If someone breaks in here, they're gonna like the identity's gonna be blown. So why are Robin and they're just like, we really like masks? Yeah.
We need to talk about that because it's something I obviously would be aware of watching this, having seen it before. But when Brainiac's like, you're a human, buzz, and just like whatever it does to him, Superman is such a dork. He's wearing his own costume
underneath,
under the Batman costume. He's just like, I came prepared. Like, why?
He should have been wearing Batman suit, then Clark Kent suit, then Superman.
Exactly.
So that he could then open it up to reveal. Yeah,
Batman is Clark Kent is Superman.
Is
Brainiac?
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Brainiac shoots who he thinks is Batman. He's lying in a fire, and then he stands up and walks out. Clark Kent, this was not unexpected. How the fuck?
Is this canon enough to say that Superman is on the spectrum? Because I feel like that's a very like
to wear his costume underneath his costume.
Yeah.
Well, okay, legitimately though, approaching this from a serious standpoint, and then we can have all the silly funness afterwards. Given all of his sensory abilities, be like growing up with that and being untrained on how those work, that's quite literally one of the major things that affects kids on the spectrum, right? He'd be living life completely overstimulated. Right? From every part, not just like, loud noises, like everything.
And if he's wearing his Superman costume under his Clark, like if he's pretty constantly wearing his Superman costume, it's probably like comforting.
Like a weighted vest or something.
Yeah. And if he was wearing the Batman costume on top of it, he could be like, oh, this is too itchy and weird. I got to make sure like that I'm wearing my normal thing.
He's always wearing his super suit, right? And so just like under the Clark Kent thing is no different than under the Batman thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Except when he visits Roxy Rocket in his spank cave.
Yeah. That's fine. He's wearing his Bane gear then. Just walks in a harness.
No, Roxy Rocket's wearing the Bane gear.
Oh fuck! Roxy'd be a dom, right?
Yeah.
She rides a giant dick rocket throughout. Of course she is.
Hold on, I gotta go call her real quick.
We're creating too much fan fiction with this, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Let's move on, Jamie.
Yeah.
You want to talk about?
Did you want to talk about it out of focus?
I would say out of focus shots.
That was
that was a keen effect thing I wanted to talk about, but was the really out of focus one that caught your eye, Kyle? Was that when they're at the aerospace place? Because there's one shot. It was right after, Brian, you said like, oh my God, why is it so out of focus? Like you were starting to notice.
Well, I've been seeing them and I was just like, oh, it's just some little thing. And then I saw it again and again and again.
Super Batman and Robin are like hiding around a corner, and Bruce walks out and Robin's like, Bruce, and Batman, Superman grabs his shoulder like, don't go. And in that shot, they're like on a completely different like plane from the background, but it's like so far removed so that they can do such a focus rack that there's like a hard dark black shadow around them. Like it's so weird and bad looking. And I was like, what is going on in this shot?
I didn't notice
why
it.
did they make this choice? Yeah, it was weird.
Mine was much earlier when because we've seen the bat signal through multiple shows now.
Yeah.
The bloom was out of focus on the actual signal in the sky. And then we see Gordon, and it zooms in on a police officer I don't think we've seen before.
No,
like
she's just there,
right?
yeah.
I'm so mad that it wasn't Bullock or Detective Montoya or something. Yeah. And it
or the
cuts
goats.
to her, and I was like, she was drawn with pastels. Like, she's not, she wasn't painted. I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? And then, I noticed that one for sure. It was really strange. Like, and that's why I brought up the home video release, because it's obviously there are episodes that had issues throughout the other shows, but they made a point in the press for those to talk about, like, we digitally cleaned them. We took out the dot on Batman's lip. Like, they did all these
zit
things.
Is gone. Yeah.
The zit is gone. And then this, it's like, oh, you just, this upscaled. Like, that's what it looks like. Like, I'd have to go back and watch the DVDs, but I didn't for this.
It does feel like they just scanned it and then called it good. I think
but
that,
why sporadically throughout? Was it
I don't know.
It could have just been the production of the episode, like James brought up earlier, right? Like, sometimes they're a mess. Like Heart of Steel, famously, those are garbage. Like the film, like there was so much cell dirt, and it looked like it was snowing at all times throughout those shows. Yeah,
I just also had the thought when we were watching it of not remembering it this time for much, because it's, we've had the Superman Blu-ray for years now, but just how, like, this and World's Finest and something else that we haven't gotten to yet were like, oh, we just have the entirety of Batman the Animated Series and New Batman Adventures remastered beautiful for years, and then Superman, we're still stuck with the DVDs, including these crossover episodes that are just other Batman episodes 50-50 essentially that have yet to be cleaned up or whatever. And so I think this might be my first time watching Nighttime on the, like, Blu-ray quality, and so maybe I had just never noticed on the DVDs or whatever how many times that happens with the swapping of
the way that it
quality.
swapped makes me wonder if it was maybe they cleaned up stuff, but then there were sections that they're like, oh, that there was a mess up in there, we need to replace that, and they replaced it with, like, the DVD version or something like that, or it's like, oh, this one's better than that one or something. It didn't really make sense to me as to why, where we've seen it before through one shot, it being kind of out of focus or coming back or whatever. But I feel like this was so obvious. The whole frame was out of focus, and then it fixed when it switched shots.
I don't think so, honestly. As, like, we talked about a little bit earlier, you can tell what the expectations were for the effort put into this remaster when it was up on HBO Max. I know James has mentioned this, like the green screen, like layers not being presented. The thing for me as a massive home video collector is, more than anything, I probably wind up watching the bonus material and listening to the commentary tracks more. And what absolutely chaffs my ass with this show is not only did they not just, and, like, we've all done video production, it's not fucking hard
to just copy over the commentary track. Yeah,
just put the audio with the HD. You already did it. So the commentary track episodes are just in the standard DVD quality, like SD. What? They didn't even do all of them.
Yeah,
they're missing, like, five.
Yeah.
5 episodes are missing.
What?
So as a home video collector, because I want to watch it better, I've made those episodes myself, which is like, why?
Yeah.
It is. You've already done the work. You literally just have to pull over the freaking MP3 file.
It's just somehow a lack of, like, care. Like, oh, it's just the Superman show. It doesn't matter or something. It's just one of those, like, I think we've talked about this, Brian, that the Superman show hasn't been necessarily as, like, astounding or, like, cool or whatever as Batman has, but that it's been more consistently good or whatever than BTAS was. I think it's just another kind of rose-colored reverence for BTAS, where people are just,
oh God, is that a new band name, Jamie?
Rose-colored reverence.
Yeah.
I like regional kissing.
Well, because you said it.
I thought Brian said it.
I don't know.
No, I thought you said it.
Doesn't matter. We've all said it.
So, Brian, what did you think as, like, because this is our second real opportunity to blend the two shows.
Yeah.
Like, were you excited for another version of a crossover?
Yeah. And I wish we got more of that, because we didn't really have a crossover. Like, there wasn't actually Batman.
Robin doesn't count for you.
Well, no, there was Robin.
He's just a tiny dick. I mean, Tim.
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim.
No, so like this was a
Superman says, "You really got a great partner," and then he says, "God bless us, everyone," and then he flies away.
That's just kind of what it was. Like, but yeah, I think that had it actually been Superman and Batman, I might have been more excited about it. And this was fine, and it was interesting to see Superman playing Batman. But I don't feel like it was an actual Superman the person and Batman the person crossover.
I think it was. It's kind of neat to like.
It was a cross dressing.
I don't know. Yeah, baby.
That came in 20 seconds too late.
Thank you. Like defy expectations on the crossover, because then you don't have to come up with another. Like we just did a Batman Superman episode. If you have to then turn around and like, oh, what's another like thing they could do that we can't like meet that expectation or whatever. And then to have it be, well, psych, he's Batman and Superman. You don't even have to worry about it.
And next time it's going to be the reverse, where Superman's missing and Batman has to learn to fly.
He's like just using all these horrific gadgets to make it in laser vision and all this stuff.
Yeah, he goes to Marvel, he grabs Cyclops' thing, and he's like, I need this for a minute.
Nobody will recognize me.
What I like about it is that, similar to reading comics, like obviously World's Finest was an event, right? It's an hour long. It's a movie. It's a massive, it was a big deal in reintroducing the Batman world in the new art style. But this really feels like a one-off of a comic book. They didn't need to be like, Bruce has been gone this long. And like you get the tease with Mr. Al Ghul, right? With Babs and Dick are somewhere in Romania. But it's like Batman's gone missing. Superman's in Gotham for this issue. And then by the end of it, similar to like The Simpsons, we're at status quo moving forward.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
The house is built.
Yeah. They have to all go sit down on the couch the same way as they always do.
Yeah, exactly.
Batman gets chased inside the house with a Batmobile like he always does.
Oh,
Tim hits him with the car.
Please tell me somebody's done that.
Redone the Simpsons intro with Batman characters.
Yes.
And they all cram onto the bat couch. Yeah.
No, they're all sitting on top. It's like people sitting on each other's laps in his chair in the Batcave. It's like one after the other, like Russian dolls.
Wow. Someone please make this happen.
And obviously Alfred's the bottom. That makes sense.
I don't know. Bane might be the bottom, if you know what I mean.
Hey, and Roxy's the top. Watching the episode, it was funny thinking about last episode. I'm sure this is just purely coincidental, but how we made a comment about like, oh, why is like Robin in Old Wounds? Why is Robin just out fighting guys on his own? Like, that's so weird that Batman wouldn't be there. And then for this episode to be like, here's Robin. He's fighting bad guys on his own because Batman's been missing for a while. And we didn't even see Batman in Old Wounds at all. So it was just kind of an interesting, air date kerfuffle to be like, maybe he was missing in Old Wounds too. He's been missing for that long.
Ooh, have you canonized that one?
You would know. I mean,
like you always ask me this as if I have the ability to just say something is official now. But
well, I mean, yeah.
It works, right? Like,
I don't see any reason why I couldn't. Yeah.
This is certainly one of my favorite things about this show is watching it in a way that is only feasible now. Because of obviously we have no time machines. So that was the way in which we watched it was never in this. Like as a kid, I only remembered seeing commercials for Superman. Right. And then we talked about this. I have my VHS of World's Finest. And I didn't know what show that was on because of the way that VHS was comprised.
It's just it. Yeah.
I might have had a DVD or a VHS of a big event near the end of Superman.
It's kind of my experience too, is like I didn't literally watch them the way we're watching for the podcast. Like if you were a child that was paying attention to these shows, you were alive the entire time that they were on the air,
like Brian,
etc., and 5 other factors, then you potentially actually watched them in this way. Like if you were paying attention to TV Guide and you knew the new episode was going to come out and you always watched it on the day it happened, that's how we're watching it for this podcast. But that's probably not most people's experience because, yeah, I definitely didn't watch all of Superman until like the DVDs came out like 10 years after it stopped airing. So
when then other stuff was on the air. So like your continuity brains that you and I have are like, how does this, right? And especially with what show 3 does, like it really throws a wrench in that TARDIS. It's a Doctor Who reference.
So yeah, it'll be interesting, but I'll figure it out. Let's do the cast of this episode. It's all returning people, like I said. We have Tim Daly as Superman. That's it, not / Clark Kent. I don't know. But he wasn't Clark Kent, so it's okay. Just Tim Daly as Superman.
Okay.
Kevin Conroy as Batman / Bruce Wayne. No.
Well, I mean, voice-wise, obviously he's present.
Okay, I guess that's sort of true.
Because it's not Tim Daly doing Batman, right?
Right.
Well, he was sometimes, in like 5 shots. Yeah.
And then we had...
and Matthew Valencia as Robin / Tim Drake, and also Superman for a second.
Well, so yeah, is he Superman or Batman?
Superman and Batman, yeah. No, we interviewed Matthew Valencia several years ago and asked him about this like moment in the episode, and he was like, oh, and I specifically remember plus I've got a pretty good ear because I got to voice Superman for 3 seconds, so I'm gonna have that line memorized. Like he was really excited about it.
So does he get to put that in his IMDb that for one episode he got to voice Superman?
See, I don't know. Yeah, I'll put it on his resume. Yeah.
You've talked about that website, that Flash website, and do you remember when you would click characters, they all had quotes? Like they would say a lot.
And it was from this episode. The Robin
was
from
this
episode.
The Batman, Schmatman.
Batman, Schmatman.
Yeah.
When you click on each character on the official Kids WB website way back in the day, you clicked on Robin and he would say the Batman, Schmatman line from this episode. When
you guys are nerds.
Yeah, I know. But I did
see my actual bat signal behind you now?
I know, I'm jealous. I did always think that was weird because that's from a Superman episode, yet it was on the Batman subsite or whatever.
Why did they choose that?
I don't know.
I mean, he wasn't given a ton of interesting things to say.
What was Batman's line that he said?
I don't remember. It was only because it was so weird that I remembered. You'd have to go back in the Wayback Machine to find out what Batman's was now.
Roddy McDowell as Mad Hatter, John Glover as the Riddler, Paul Williams as Penguin, Henry Silva as Bane, Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon, Charity James as Roxy Rocket, and Corey Burton as Brainiac. That's literally what the credits of the episode say. I had to check DVD and Blu-ray. Your dog both say Brainiac in the credits.
Wow, so that's amazing.
This is a new character. Yeah,
I'm very happy about that.
The DCAU wiki said something about the 2 cops that they distract at Wayne Tech or whatever with the little there's a gizmo in your belt second pocket on the right that you're already reaching for before I say that. And then the 2 guys run away. They had credited Matthew Valencia as one of those guys, and I was thinking, like, I don't think they would have gotten the like 14-year-old boy to voice one of these security guards or whatever, and it did not sound like him, so I don't know what's going on there. But I've got medium-sized trivs. When the Mad Hatter examines the nanites, he's handcuffed to the table. But when he says they're of alien origin, the cuff on his wrist disappears. So whatever. But yeah, that was fucking weird. Why did he do like a rocker sign?
It's the Spider-Man. He's like trying to web himself out of there.
Yeah. The Doctor
Well, they originally had this, but then they had to fix it.
Shocker, yeah.
Kyle's doing a peace symbol for some reason.
Yeah, I don't understand. Well, that's why I held up the like rocker hand and went, live long and prosper. That's what they said on Star Trek. Bane's quote that he wanted to feel Batman's spine crumble in his hands is likely a reference to the Nightfall comic story arc, which famously depicted Bane breaking Batman's back over his knee, which, whether or not that's a reference, if it is...
crumble in your knee.
Yeah. If it is a reference, I do think it's funny that that's now twice that Bane has referenced that moment, and then the producers of the show just go, nope, you're not going to get to do that actually, because they hated that comic or whatever. So
Fair.
When Riddler's apprehended by Robin and Superman, he exclaims, "It's not fair!" Riddler said the same thing as he was being arrested by Commissioner Gordon at the end of Riddler's Reform.
Oh, that's why it sounded so familiar.
I only kept that because I went to check if it was literally the same clip of him saying that, and it's not.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been surprised if it was, because I think he only says like one other sentence in this scene, and I've always been curious if they even actually hired John Glover to record for this episode, or if he just had reused lines from other episodes or something, because it did not seem like, it seemed like such a low level appearance by a character that it would just be one of those like, oh, just get Bruce Timm to say the one line of that character or something like that. But I don't know.
Or you just cut it, you just grab individual words from him and be like, it's me.
When Superman as Batman lifts the statue, Robin explains it by saying he's been working out. Christopher Reeve says the same thing in Superman 2 when disposing of a bully at a diner, showing off incredible strength as Clark Kent and excusing it with, "Oh, I've, been working out."
That's maybe the most vindictive Superman scene
Yeah, it is.
ever. Because he was like, he just got beat up when he was a human. And then after he gets his powers back, he's like, you know what? That one guy.
Isn't that like the final scene of the movie too?
Well, there's two versions of Superman 2, right? There's Superman 2, which came out in like 79. And then there's the Richard Donner cut, which came out in like 06, leading up to Superman Returns.
I have bonus trivs for that. I think there's a pretty recent uncovering by someone, but Christopher Reeve strength trained under the tutelage of David Prowse, the physical actor for Darth Vader. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
like he was his trainer was Darth Vader. This episode marks the final appearance of the Mad Hatter in the DCAU, so Brian may be happy about that. Unfortunately, it's because Roddy McDowall, his voice actor, died 1 week before this episode aired.
Oh my God.
So this is the last Mad Hatter for a reason, yeah.
Whoa.
So alien origin is the last thing he gets to say, I guess, with the shocker, yeah.
that's too bad.
Yeah, it is for Roddy McDowall, but not for us.
Well, similar to what Brian said about Riddler, that's a character who should be like, you have to be smart to make interesting, because
Mad Hatter,
if he's smart enough to do these things, like as opposed to it's just like, I read one book once and I'm obsessed with it, which is like what we get pretty much from his later appearances.
Yeah, I mean, in Animal Act, when we were talking about how he just says like, Alice in Wonderland quote over and over again, and then, until he just goes, fuck you at the end. But I got a gun, fuck off, get away from me. But then in this one, he's like looking, like you said, Kyle, he's looking at the nanites, and he's just like doing a rhyme scheme that sounds like it might be from an Alice in Wonderland thing. But if it is, that's like a huge coincidence that he would say like, not of this earth or whatever it is that's part of that. Like, I don't know. And how did he think so far ahead for that rhyme?
Yeah.
That was what kind of pulled me out of it. Is like, what is he doing in this moment that he's, making his explanation more poetic by rhyming it? Like, that's just like, what is it? I don't know. It looks like nanobots. Cool. Thanks.
Cool. We already knew that. Yeah. I mean, they're ruling out that it wasn't him that did it, I guess, but like, I think that's happened before. I think it was in Make 'Em Laugh, where Joker stole Mad Hatter's shtick, and they're like, this must be the Mad Hatter. And that, both of those times in this episode included, that didn't come to mind as like, oh, mind control. It must be the Mad Hatter, because Mad Hatter is just so low on my list of, I don't care. Like, mind control, who could it be? Little robots? It's probably like Brainiac or something. We think it's Mad Hatter. Oh, well, that makes sense, or should have, but I didn't think of that at all, because I don't really like Mad Hatter.
He would work really well as like a more mature Batman villain, like somebody clearly with like, obviously the way he treats Alice and whatnot, but they just got away from that so quickly.
Yeah, he's just too goofy and
dumb.
Yeah. The last thing I have, Brian, you'll like this.
I like it.
When Superman as Batman punches Bane for the first time, there's a full screen frame of a fire explosion, reused footage from Where There's Smoke, when Volcana blasts Superman with a fireball in the parking lot. This is used again later when Superman blows up the lasers of Brainiac's ship.
Wow, I like that so
Did you
much.
like it?
Thank you.
Thank you. Keen effects. The one that I was going to talk about was when Bane is like about to lose consciousness and he's looking at Batman and the focus is going like woo in and out. And Batman's standing there doing his little shoulder dance that Brian started mimicking when it was happening. You're sitting on the couch watching it, just doing a little like with your shoulders.
I mean, if the intent for the bat signal in the air was meant to be foggy because of all of the pollution in Gotham because it's a shithole, then it's a really keen effect. If it was just out of focus, I mean, this is Coco Don Yang, right? Like, I don't know, I guess, right? So
when
who knows? When yeah, exactly. It'll be a big deal when it's not. I mean, outside of the focus, the episode's just kind of like, as with all of Superman.
We can't not talk about the focus stuff. Like, we just keep coming back to
I know.
it.
I mean, I have ADHD. Focus is my whole
I'm really
life.
focused on the out of focus shots.
I've had so much coffee to be awake right now. I'm kidding. It's just sort of like, because Coco Don Yang's animation is just, it like, as with most of S-TAS and the New Adventures, it's just kind of on par.
Yeah.
That there's a rare time it's like, I mean, no one is an ACOM. They're so special. They're their own unique entity in the animation world.
Their own tier, yeah.
But this episode's just kind of stuff. Like the spaceship in space is kind of cool. Like the way that they almost have motion blur as it's traveling like from the upper atmosphere into space. That's cool. Like they do space well. One thing I thought was fun was we get to see Metropolis in the nighttime, which is not a super often thing. And the way those you know what it was? I thought was quite keen. Ironically focused, but it was on purpose, I think, is when we see behind Roxy, right? Like we see the Daily Planet and it's as if like the camera is strapped to,
reflected in her visor and stuff.
I thought that was cool, because animating a reflection, that's got to be a nightmare.
I feel like it still said Daily Planet on the globe, which should have been backwards, but you know, whatever.
Bring it back up. I thought of something very, very keen. And I think it was when Superman was being electrocuted in space. I can't quite place it, but there's a close up and he looks like Speed Racer. Like he's just got these like very like pretty eyes and little eyelash, like the little, what do you call that with the makeup where you do the little swoopies?
The little wings.
Yeah, the little wings on your eye makeup. That was very keen. He was looking very chic.
The way you brought this up, being like, I thought of something that was like so fucking keen. I'm like, oh, what was it? I was a fucking eyelash.
But we got a close up on Superman's beautiful lashes.
You can't tell. It's just a kind of a bunch of indiscriminate text.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like it might be backwards. I don't know.
But no, that is quite cool.
Yeah.
Right? Because they didn't need to do that. It could have just been like her rocket puffing out some flames, right? Going into the tunnel, right? But let's have a cool reveal, and Brian will be like, "But I watched this episode. What do we do? Did I pick the wrong one?"
I'll be so confused.
Next episode, we've seen this one, okay?
Roxy climaxes twice.
Yeah, it's the sequel episode. There's no CGI in this.
Good.
So no CGI, CGI. Superman's powers, we can add, what did you call it? Throat magic?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Doing that, which is like voice mimicry in nighttime. God.
It's just such a weird, I don't know, that threw me. That felt strange.
It does kind of make sense. Like, you know, like jacked guys like Terry Crews, like he's so in tune with his physique that he can do the peck dance. Like
this is Superman's peck dance. He does it with his throat.
It's in my throat.
Yeah, when Robin says don't do that again, and then Brian, you're like, yes, please don't. I don't even like it with Batman. I don't like seeing Batman or Superman's voice coming out of Batman or whatever.
It was all weird.
Not a new power, but I did think it was. I said this as it was happening, but whenever like Mad Hatter runs away and then Super Batman just smiles and off after him, like just becomes a smeary blur going after him, and then stops him at the end of the hallway Mad Hatter runs the other way, and then he smiles and swoops his away again, and is like, "Oh my god!" And I said that would be terrifying for Batman to actually have this power to just super speed his way into places.
That was pretty neat, actually.
Well, because the design is different, right? Like from an aesthetic standpoint, like Superman does it, and it's like the way he never does that as Superman, which makes even less sense.
Yeah, when Superman does it, he's usually like the cape is behind him or whatever, so it like flows as he does it. But when he's doing it as Batman, he's got a cape wrapped around him, so he's just like a fucking Dracula, just at a blink of an eye, ran at the end of the hallway. It's like, oh my god!
I was a little confused by that, admittedly, because the
Batsuit shouldn't be able to keep up with the speed.
No,
it should rip to shreds.
That's not how that works. Do you have it still?
It's on here somewhere. But what's yeah.
So
there, you got
Penguin runs away.
Yeah,
and
Mad Hatter.
Superbat. Yeah, Mad Hatter. Sorry, runs away.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Superbat just like blinks out of existence and like expecting him to be there, and then it cuts back, and Mad Hatter's still running. Like, shouldn't he have already waylaid him? And then we get the reveal of, oh no, he zooms over there. So like he zoomed somewhere else. It's like a placeholder.
Yeah.
He went home and had a snack, then he came back.
He went and found Bruce Wayne, and then he came back.
He went and found Roxy, had a wank, and then he came back.
yeah. Sorry, I had to go to the Fortress of Solitude. I'm Batman. What the fuck are you talking about? All right, how strong 1 through 10 is Superman in this episode?
I wouldn't say exceptionally so. Maybe with the rocket.
I think he was just like Superman strength enough to be like, haha, it's funny because Batman's not that strong.
Yeah.
But there were moments where like the fucking Riddler shooting that like grippy Riddler thing at Superman and it doing anything. Like I was surprised that it could wrap around him, and Superman struggles for even 1 second with that, but he just was like, oh no, a Riddler metal gadget.
Well, this is the problem with
this.
This is the problem with Superman, right? Like it's similar to the Flash where he like power scales to what the issue is at hand.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like that should the bondage Riddler beam should never hit him, but it does. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, he should be able to whoop out of the way. Yeah.
Right? He could flick Bane's forehead and it would just implode, right? Like,
well, I guess he doesn't do anything. He's trying really hard not to do anything that he doesn't think Batman could do. Because until he does it with Mad Hatter, where it's just like an intimidation tactic and he's the last guy there or whatever. Everything else is like, well, Batman can't super speed out of the way of this Riddler thing, so I shouldn't like let them think he can do that or whatever.
He was too much in character.
Yeah.
Till he demon swooshes around.
Yeah.
It's like a 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give him like a 4 or 5.
Yeah. I just, like, I don't know. He fights Bane for too long. Like, you've already shown you could take him down after he knocks off the head of Easter Island. That's what I was trying to remember.
I thought we were not coming up with different names. Yeah.
We're going to call it the not white people thing. We can call it Rapa Nui. That's okay.
We're cultured here at Jump on the Batwagon.
I'm biracial.
I had a friend that was there was an archaeologist there, so I feel like I owe it to her to say the right name.
Oh, okay. I feel like this episode, the amount that Bane can keep up with Superman would just start like Reddit wars about whether Bane could take like Calabac or something, like these other Lobo, these other characters that are big, strong guys that Superman's fought and taken way too long to fight. But I feel like if you put Bane against Lobo or somebody, maybe he'd stand a chance for a second. But Lobo would just be like, "Hey, what the frag is this thing in your head?" and just hit out of his, and then he'd be gone, or he'd be over in 5 seconds.
Totally.
Lobo would take it and start sucking the
and then he'd gain the extra strength, just be this gargantuan.
Oh my god, I want to see Lobo.
What do you got in there? He has no neck.
Delicious. Yeah.
He takes some of it. He's like swigging on it, and then he spits some of it into the gas tank of his hog. Yeah. So it is his motorcycle grows a couple of big arms too. It'd be great.
Yeah.
It cuts back to where Lobo was at the end of his first episode. He's sitting in like Jabba's pool, just drinking the back of Bane's head.
Oh god.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give him 3. I didn't think.
We don't get to pick things. I was going to say 3 paint mixers.
We do.
Yeah, 3 paint.
Things right now.
You can paint mixer. That's cool.
The car that the guys died in.
Yeah.
It's all red paint in there now.
I'm going to give him, it's too predictable, but like 3 nanobots and a Brainiac triangle.
I'm going to give him 4 Riddler cages rising off the ground as Riddler goes,
Oh, that was so fucking weird and funny.
Yeah. I do like that little moment. Like it was another kind of bits of these, no matter how like bad we find the episode, there's always some little bit that I appreciate from the animators or the writers or whatever that they toss in that's like just a little bit extra sauce than a cartoon of the era or ever might
Cartoon
have had.
sauce.
Cartoon sauce, just a little bit more. Where like Robin could have just reached out of the cage and grabbed the thing and pushed the button, but he had to have a little moment of, I can't quite reach it. Give me a fucking hat, and then let me use that to get the thing, and then now
That was
I can reach
clever.
it.
Yeah, I like that. 3 Riddler hats out of 10.
Yeah, 3 Riddler hats. I also like the you brought up the little needle in the phone. It looks so painful to think.
It's a saw tool.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hello, it's Bruce. Oh, fuck. And then he's just immediately controlled by Brainiac. Like, my ear is bleeding, Lucius. I'm going on vacation. What did I say when Superman's like, so he tells you he's at work, and he tells work he's on vacation. And then I interrupted whatever Robin. Where did he tell vacation?
Oh, where did he tell vacation? Oh my
Sorry,
God.
Kyle, we're really stupid over here. We also get to do this though.
It's Batman's usefulness, baby boo. There you go.
0.
Yeah, he fucked up real hard by answering the phone.
Yeah, he did nothing he did anything.
Well, but like we said with the cast, are we counting Batman as Batman? Bruce Wayne Batman
I
or
love
Superman
technicalities
Batman?
like this. I would say Bruce isn't Batman in this episode. Superman is Batman.
We did just rate Superman strength as his Batman self. Like if we were going to do that with Superman, the rules that we're doing now, we'd have to only do the scene at the beginning with Roxy Rocket and the scene at the end where he flies away. So, I guess when he fights Brainiac.
Oh yeah, when he fights Brainiac, he's
Well, but no, I think you the way you explained it though answers how we can do this. When he's demonstrating abilities that only Superman is capable of, he's like a 3 because you're like, come on, dude. As a Batman, he did what he was supposed to. He found Bruce. And then he decided. I don't know.
I think I'll stick with Bruce Wayne's usefulness in this one, which I think is a 0. Especially because he just falls over onto Robin at the end of it. Also, you brought up the thing about his Brainiac STIs are dissolving inside his body. I like how they say that as if like, oh, now everything must be perfectly fine because the little robots crumbled apart as soon as Brainiac was destroyed, like as if they knew to go away. And it's like, okay, but you have like more pieces of nanobots floating around in your bloodstream that should not be there.
You're just gonna pee him out. It's fine. You talk to Magneto. Magneto's
Batman
gonna
just
zap him out of him.
Hey, don't joke about kidney stones. Those things suck. They're the worst.
Yeah. I haven't had one, but brother-in-law has, and he gets them a lot, and it sucks. Watching him just sit there and like in agonizing pain from that. Yep. Yeah,
no fun. I had one, and it ruined a Christmas.
Brian, how many have you had in your 200 years of life?
0.
Good so far.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Because you eat good, and I don't at all, so it'll be a matter of seconds before I get one. I'll give Bruce Wayne a 0. I have to choose another thing, so I'll do 0 doohickeys in the front right pocket of the belt out of 10.
Wow, do we do a thing for that too?
We do.
Oh,
we
wow.
do it.
I don't know how to podcast.
We always in World's Finest did it, so we're doing it now.
I'm going to give him 0 fun time rocket rides with Roxy.
Because he doesn't get to have any.
Yeah.
Kyle, think of a 7th thing or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to give him 0.5 elongated Superman ears in the cowl.
There you go. Okay, where's Clayface?
The smears over the screen that made it out of focus.
He's rubbed on the lens like Vaseline. Yeah.
It's why it's all sepia toned.
Oh, God. Can't argue that.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call. The Balderarchy.
There's a lot of bald dudes in this episode.
Riddler. Oh my God, Riddler can win the Balderarchy if we wanted him to. Holy shit.
Riddler, Bane, Brainiac.
Oh, is Bane? I guess, yeah, when we saw Bane in the shadows in Over the Edge, he was bald. Fuck.
Unless he has, as we saw in The Mask when I was on Movies to Watch Before You Die, he has a Prince Zuko ponytail we just don't see.
Oh, yeah, we couldn't see it. Yeah.
There's one henchman in The Mask with that.
I would like to make an executive decision just because of your face and your reaction, Jamie. Let's just give it to Riddler because I feel like that makes you so happy.
Well, because Batman villains never get to be in the Balderarchy, so if we were just, it's Brainiac, it'd be a waste. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, cool.
Books or hip-hop?
Hip-hop. Okay, top 10.
Wait. Kyle?
No, it's books. I think with all the comparisons I made to kind of being like a one-off issue, this is a book.
That makes sense. I agree.
I also say books, but not for that reason.
Well, you don't have to explain yourself.
Damn right.
What's going on your Superman top 10?
I was looking at this and I like this episode.
Yeah. I'm torn because I've already... It's barely making it. Sorry, listener. It's going at number 10 for me, which beats out Where There's Smoke, kicks off Where There's Smoke. Because I definitely think it was better than the Volcano episode, but I don't think it's better than the ones I have above that, which are Little Girl Lost, Main Man, Little Piece of Home, Ghost in the Machine, Two's a Crowd, Wave All Flesh, Last Son of Krypton, Late Mr. Kent, and World's Finest. Those are all bangers in their own right. And this one is too, but it's not... it was a fun time. I liked it a lot, what I was watching, but I wasn't like, oh man, all-time standout best fucking shit. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think it is that. It's a unique, classic episode that I will watch many more times in my life, and but it's not like a hold dear to my heart thing.
I'm kind of on the same thing. Like it was a fun episode, but I don't feel like it means a lot to me. So I think I'm going to refrain from posting it on my list.
Oh, at all? Okay.
Yeah. However, we got a Kyle with us.
We do have a Kyle who has a Never Fear at number 5. Are you putting this below or above that? He's got the face of like, oh crap, I actually have to make a decision.
I forgot where I put Never Fear. I have documentation of all of my top 10s because I track them. Because when I have eventually Brian on again, he'll be like, what's your top 10 of this? And I'll be like, as opposed to when I had to do my B-Task one-off.
Start asking him, what's your top 10 vegetables? Go. Kyle's got
broccoli is number 1, undisputed champion.
Really? All right.
Broccoli is good raw. It's good cooked. It's good with cheese. I make a bitchin' broccoli dip. Anyways, it's not... I mean...
Is garlic a vegetable? Would we consider garlic a vegetable?
It's a root vegetable.
You just eat garlic?
Right?
You just sit there eating garlic?
What, you don't? Come on, don't tell me you don't go for a late night bowl of garlic.
Late night bowl.
Just eating them like nuts. Just like,
the
with
worst
the
breath
skin.
ever.
Just breaking it off.
Just picking it out of your
so
teeth.
Crunchy, delicious.
You're just talking and it's whiffing.
All right, Kyle, where are you putting this episode for fuck's sake?
7.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Because I have an idea of other things.
Okay. Why did you want to come on for this episode? Is it because it starts with a K? So every episode that starts with a K?
Well, I mean, I'm
never fear.
Can never fear. No,
that started with a K this whole time. It never told Brian.
No, you know what it was more than anything? I think there's a lot of Superman episodes, unfortunately, and this is not to be critical of the show, and I know Kurt Gaeta's talked about where it's like people were really critical of the S-Task crew while they were working on TNBA, and he was like, hey guys, it's the same crew. That there's a lot of, and I've said this in my mail, that a lot of Superman feels forgettable, not because it's bad, but it lacks that like oomph,
the punch.
And as somebody who's always loved
zazz.
Lacks garlic, just raw garlic that you eat with your mouth.
But this episode, for one, like the first time I saw it, I was really excited that it, as we talked about kind of in the synopsis, it doesn't have to be a world-ending crossover. It's a fun little adventure. And as Riddler was one of my favorite villains growing up, we get to see him, so that's nice, even though it's for half a second. And anytime
he wins the Balder arc.
and honestly, anytime, even if they're versions that I don't love because adaptations vary dramatically, anytime Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy voice the characters together, like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love every time. And Tim Daly always gets a little deeper when he's talking to Kevin, which I love.
I have to sit next to him. Well, I also just like that this episode, like you're saying, with how it's not a big apocalyptic thing. It's just Batman and Superman coexist in the same world. So sometimes something like this is going to happen or whatever. And it kind of feels like that, especially in the final scene in the Batcave, where it's like, yep, we know each other now. And every once in a while, we're just going to interact with each other. And it doesn't have to be this big deal, like this big event or whatever. It didn't really, sit there like a world's finest where I have to keep it a secret from him or whatever. Like, it's not this huge spectacle or whatever, but it's still a very fun time.
But it was a spectacle.
Oh,
Superman in Batman clothes.
It was a spectacle because
in My America,
Commissioner Gordon was wearing spectacles when
there you go
did the thing. Thank you. Do you remember when I wanted to call my videography business Spectacles for that same reason?
Wow,
and you told me that was silly and bad.
I'm trying to start a office equipment called Paper Clips, but nobody seems to want to take me up on it.
Oh, well, it's okay. Nobody is appreciative of puns anymore.
No.
You joining us for the mail, Kyle?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. We do it. We tell Brian what the name of the next episode is when we come back. Here's the song.
Yeah. That yacht. That one small extra yacht. Put it over.
We drop
what we drop.
Our weekly yacht.
Oh yeah, those.
Into the comment box.
First,
there sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
Too bad we're wrong.
At least I am.
Just Dylan Pollock.
Sometimes that note works. Sometimes it doesn't. I was sticking on the same note from the start. If you would like to reach out to us like the fire handed, I don't know why this happened at the end of World's Finest Part 3, you can send a short-ass email, an email for your ass, or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on today's episode on the Pod Tower YouTube channel. But please do not spoil anything past this episode for Brian. Kyle's been doing a very good job of that, talking about show 3 and all that.
Be like Kyle.
Although I would say that Superman might be show 3 if we're counting New Batman Adventures. Although you meant in just the lineup of the current thing.
We're in phase 2 of the DCAU, right? Phase 1 was just the one.
Yeah. Just BTAS, yeah.
Oh, and I guess I'm not in mail because I'm here, but I appreciated that I'm no longer a sock puppet account because on last week's episode, Brian was like, listen here, Dylan.
Yeah.
And Kyle.
Yeah. You've pulled yourself from the maw somehow, yeah.
I am an individual.
Yeah. Sometimes, the mitosis happens.
I would like to point out that one little act of mine has increased our listener base by 100%.
That's true. It's gone from 0 to 2. We have
what?
The first thing, I don't know, is from Chris Fitt. Yoppie Meditations number 2. How do you do, Bert and Journey and Kyle? 1. Drop after any "we" is now listeners' Pavlovian response. 2. Bottom forsake 17. Drink more Ovaltine.
Yes.
3. What existentially is most bald? To have never had hair? To have had hair and lost it, or to have never loved at all?
Maybe the last one, actually.
Riddler's had all 3. 4. Man, if you think a polar bear is big, check out the now extinct short-faced bear / Arctudus simus. However that's pronounced in Latin and whatever.
What?
Brian.
Short-faced what? I'm not going to try to Latin
One
right
moment,
now.
please.
5, Perry Gilpin and Tim Daly were both in the Cheers expanded universe. Kevin Conroy was also on 2 episodes of Cheers season 8. There, because of Frasier.
She big.
Oh, she big.
Dude, is she big? Not like extremely much huger than a polar bear.
I gotta look this up. Short-faced bear.
It's like 2 feet. 2 feet ear to ear. Yeah, because here's the 6 foot. Like the Arctudus, whatever, the giant short-faced bear is 6 feet when on all fours, and a polar bear is like 4'2".
Wait, what?
I'm looking at a picture.
Okay.
On all fours.
Oh.
Yeah, I got you.
Not standing like,
up,
be afraid, bitch. Like, on all fours. Like Superman will be in the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, like he'll be later. 6, Banana Man Bat implies the existence of a Bat-Nana Man. Bruce Plantain. 7, but it wasn't a big rock. It was a big rock lobster. I can't catch the coming few episodes because I'm off to get married and then be whisked away on an autumn New England honeymoon.
Ooh.
Keep it yapping, Chris Fit.
Go to my hometown and then leave immediately, because why would you? Don't go there.
Don't go there. This is from Ryan Hipp, special guest starring the Bruce Wayne model sheet. Remember when the Riddler was really good in this universe? You know, the one time? What happened? Can somebody tell me? Why did they do it? It's not fair, and so forth. Recorded on my non-promptu vacation. It's another video. I hope it downloads in less than 5 minutes time this time, because it won't. Ryan, stop sending videos. This takes so long to download.
They canceled Horror Nights. This is going to ruin the Torror. It's a special
redacted
edition of this, and it's everybody's favorite. Now I've got nothing to do tonight time. I'm on a roll here. I appreciate that they opened the episode with a climax this time. That was fun. Another great Tim Drake story. I love Clark giving him props at the end. That's a really sweet moment. College Dick truly could never. Speaking of which, when they mentioned Dick and Barbara going off investigating a ghoul or something, I wish they had found an actual ghost and we had gotten the alternate episode of what was going on. And it turns out they were getting into madcap Scooby-Doo adventures and all the hijinks that implies. I watched Batman and Robin again the other night and the Bane episode a week or 2 ago. What's with Bane and always getting photographed at the airport in ridiculous situations? That's it. We're done. Thank you.
That is a commonality between that movie and this episode. It's just, Bane got off the plane in a big coat and someone took a picture and then showed it to Batman and said, Bane's here somewhere.
Yeah, but as Brian said, this version, for one, is not wearing his mask while wearing the hat and not going like,
right.
Go,
bomb, step,
here.
Why Gordon was like, we have in our intel that he's juiced himself up twice as much, so he's bound to be twice as big. Like, did you get that from the fucking picture?
The same.
Like, what? Yeah. Where did that info come from?
I totally forgot to point this out, but on the photo of him, like it wasn't on the Tribs anywhere else, but we've talked to Dan about this. Is the photo of him there also has a comic character named Mr. X, and what are their names?
Mixie.
Hang on.
One moment, please.
We did a video called like Hidden Villains in the DCAU or something a couple of years ago, and it was this photograph comes up because everyone else getting off the plane is also some like obscure comic character that they just tossed in there.
What were they all doing on the same plane? Did they charter it or something?
It's Mr. X, and Mr. X is one of them, and then Zombie World, the cast of Zombie World, is what's getting off the plane behind him.
The cast of Zombie World.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
So there you go. Tribs. Extra Tribs.
Great.
Euphonium Star. We have a damage report for... what was last time? Old Wounds. Trash can, more trash cans, truck, building wall, skylight, satellite, missile, machines, just machines, pipes, building supports, apartment window, toy airplanes, jet wing, souvenir stand, radar disruptor. And then Mark Aquino had replied, don't forget Bruce and Dick's relationship. DC Animated Customs, which that might be, is that Renke? Kevin Renke, maybe? Or is this somebody else?
So?
I don't remember. Are there any timeline clues that point to Old Wounds as having to take place after Animal Act. What if it's an unspoken earlier episode that slots in after Sins of the Father, but before You Scratch My Back? Yeah, I would think so. But then that would also mean Nighttime could potentially be in that spot if we're linking the two. Anyway, thanks for doing the show, guys. I totally get you brushing off people's praise. That just means you're humble, good guys, but you also really do deserve the compliments. It's been a real treat listening. Have a good one. Yeah, whatever you say. Fuck off. Thank you. Banana Two-Face flips coin to see if I can rob another bank. It lands good side up. Shit. Banana Batman. Harvey, no. Banana Croc. It was a big rock. Banana Baby. Put me down, you banana-themed representation of Brick's least favorite episode. And Banana Man Bat. Squaw drops Banana Baby from a very high height. Motherfucking squaw. There are too many bananas. I may not read those in the future.
That's all Brian's fault. Brian wished it, and it has happened.
It happened.
I have all the control.
Well, here's my question. Wouldn't Banana Man Bat just be Banana Man as a bat?
Well, Man Bat isn't just Batman.
Oh, you're saying Banana Man Bat.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
but there's no indication that Banana Man is Batman, so Banana Man could be Banana Man Bat Banana. Or whatever it is. Banana Man Bat.
I'm following.
Right? Does that make sense? A circle is a square. I don't know.
John B3919, which I think is a new one. Hot take. I would take 3 Torch songs over 1 Old Wounds. I can't put my finger on it, but I know I don't enjoy it. It feels contrived or something.
We lost Kyle. He's gone.
Sorry,
you
John
broke
B.
him. Oh my
There's
God.
no more guests.
I can't believe we lost Kyle. He's gone. We may never see him again.
No, what happened? He's back as Kyle Banana Bat.
Squaw!
Ashley Tutchin, I was sitting alone, brooding in my darkened study like Michael Keaton at the beginning of Batman Returns, when suddenly Commissioner Brother B. Roderick shone the Ashley signal into the sky. Striking a dramatic pose, I leapt into action.
What shape is the Ashley signal?
I
need to know.
Like? Yeah, we say bummer in Australia. I'm going to have to start charging a consulting fee or something.
It's a Canadian thing, too.
Okay. I think, yeah.
Okay.
You actually kind of sent me down a rabbit hole because then I was curious about the origin of the word. Weirdly, half the internet seems to want to know if Americans say bummer, and the other half want to know if Australians say bummer. I assume that it's American. After nearly a century of capitalist American propaganda infiltrating our media, our lexicon has become an unholy mishmash of Australian, British, and American slang to the point that the stereotypical Australian cultural identity is all but extinct. Now that the kids are all on the TikToks
come on, Ashley.
and the
Bogans
Insta-snaps, we've got
exist.
no hope. Thanks, guys. Super Beetle. Greetings, Jahami and Orion. Okay.
And Kyle.
I'm trying.
I thought of one as James was talking. Has anybody called you guys Jathu Broderick?
No.
I don't think so. No, you
have.
can steal it.
There we go.
Someone said apple bottom jeans last time, but didn't call Brian boots with the fur. So I was a little bit. All right, more Tropic Thunder references. It's time for us to journey back to Estas in nighttime, or I'm Clark, Bruce's best friend. All of his clothes fit me. I love the homage. That would have been kind of funny if it was like way too tight on him.
You just got capris in the bat suit.
Yeah. I love the homage to the Golden Age idea that Superman and Batman switch costumes for missions and can pass as each other with uncanny accuracy. Great for maintaining secret identities. I wonder if the Gotham rogues thinking Batman has super strength is really good or really bad for Bruce. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. And fun side question, what are each of your favorite live-action versions of Batman and Superman? Anyhow, thanks for doing what you do, and rest assured that you are very funny, even if you can't take compliments. Well, I don't know about that, you piece of shit.
I'm just going to keep saying you guys are the best. The whole episode.
We like you, Super Beetle. 5 Ooper, 8 Edel. I've mentioned before, I'm partial to the Ben Affleck version of Batman just because I think he looks the most like Batman, both as Bruce Wayne and as Batman, even though Brian's upset with me. Michael Keaton, yeah, whatever. That's what you're going to say.
Yes,
we all know the answer, old man.
Can we talk about how Michael Keaton's actually a terrible... Okay, this is all... Okay, 1 second. This is all going to get cut just like another conversation we had. Here's the problem... And this is the thing that drives me. I don't get me wrong. The first Batman movie, like anybody who ever existed, I saw was Batman 89. Yeah. Everyone got so mad, like removing the temperament because he's a terrible Batman. but everyone got so mad specifically with Affleck intentionally or unintentionally killing people. I'm sorry, people. The precedent was set in 1989 because Michael Keaton not only kills people, rewatch Batman Returns, he kills that clown on purpose. He puts on purpose. He stuffs a grenade in his trousers and it's like, haha, Michael Keaton.
Kicks him in a hole. Yeah.
Like,
wow, I need to rewatch that.
So I get it. I get why people are obsessed with Keaton. It's a lot of people are like this with Spider-Man, the first one you've seen, and I've had people yell at me about that on my show, where it's like, oh, you needed to be around, and it's like, dude, I was around for Spider-Man 02. This is not I wasn't around.
No, yeah.
Sorry, we'll get back. So Brian loves Keaton.
It's kind of ironic that we keep saying that, and I think just as like a defining characteristic, the 89 Batman. I don't love it for Michael Keaton. I actually would say that he's a bad Batman. He's not really like, he doesn't sell it for me so much. He just kind of
vibe is there. He was the just everything else.
Hair, I don't know.
He's also a terrible Bruce Wayne. Like you go to that guy's house.
He's just Michael Keaton.
You see what he has around. You know, like this guy kills people. Like,
but I would like to say that 89 Batman is because of Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah,
when he's got the best Batmobile, like unequivocally, that's the best Batmobile. I guess I didn't answer the question.
Let's just flip to Superman then. Brian, are you even familiar with any live action Supermans besides Christopher Reeve?
Nope. Yeah, literally no.
So is that probably your answer also? Yeah. I'm just going to speak from the heart. I like Henry Cavill. It sucks that my answers are Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill because I'm not, by saying that, it makes it sound like I think that like grouping of movies is like the defining best thing ever. I don't hate it. I like them a lot more than most people do, but I also understand why they're not like people's favorite versions of the characters or whatever. But this is an entire podcast episode on its own to talk about this, but those are my answers without getting into too much detail, I guess.
And my favorite Batman is Robert Pattinson.
I'm sorry. Brian and I have had discussions about the Batman, and you guys have had discussions about the Batman.
Truth.
Banana Man says acceptable. So
okay.
I guess that's okay. Dylan Pollock, nighttime, go.
It's time for the close of the week from Dylan Pollock on Nighttime, or The Red Caped Crusader. Batgirl and Nightwing both going after another lead. Maybe one of them should have stayed behind with Robin, who's like 12 years old canonically. Canonically, that's fun to say. Canon, canonically. Whatever. Clark being Batman is delightful with his cape twirling, looking up into Loof, and it feels so in character, and I really like that.
See, Jamie?
I guess.
You know what I don't like, though? Poor Bane in this episode. He was like, finally, a fight with the Batman, a rematch to put our bodies to the test, and he thinks he's creaming him. It feels like watching an anime character who doesn't realize his arc has passed try to fight and get rocked, like Krillin versus Frieza levels of you have no chance here. Also, I was cracking up when Brainiac says, you're every bit the detective that your followers on the internet believe you to be, Batman. And I fully expected him to be like, but the internet also told me you only beat up and cripple the poor or mentally ill. Anyway, time for the question of the week. James' favorite part. What Marvel superhero would best be able to fill in for Batman and instill fear in the cowardly and superstitious? Spider-Man? The Punisher? You tell me.
Nightcrawler.
Moon Knight.
Anything with night in the name.
No, literally.
Mooncrawler. Oh, shit. I don't know. I guess Moon Knight's a good answer. Like Spider-Man would be too quippy and
Spider-Man could be Nightwing.
Yeah.
Who doesn't use guns?
Iron Fist. Like if you're going strictly from a martial arts standpoint, you could go with Iron Fist. Or I guess good. Daredevil, but he can't see. So Daredevil could also work.
He could do Daredevil, but no one would know he couldn't see.
Yes.
Like he'd just be in the Batman
He's wearing the red helmet from the Penguin.
He doesn't realize that he's wearing only half of the Batman costume.
Okay. Stick with me on this one. The voice would be a problem. But what about Gambit? Because I think he has the physical chops to like... Maybe he's got his staff
I'm
or
about
whatever.
to make a name for myself as he approaches Bane in the middle.
But you know,
I've been waiting for this moment, Batman, and then he's just throwing playing cards.
He could illuminate. Batarangs. He's illuminating with batarangs.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like he's got the physicality for it. I think he can do damage without being too like not having to like charge and explode things. But I feel like he could have a similar impact.
Yeah. Okay. This is from Legatron, log number 101. Oh my goodness.
This is Yopton's log number 101.
I'm reporting on a situation spanning the entire globe. It seems that some guy with a lore-accurate Hitachi wand is controlling the weather.
And it's rough waters out here today, sure to cause no end of grief to any Yoptons out there.
Witness reports showed two colorful motherfuckers running 78 miles an hour at best
across the very sea itself. And it seems they
eventually reached the top of the globe to unplug the wetness
wizard's wand, letting everything get back to normal.
Back in Gotham, though, it's Christmas time, and it seems Bruce Wayne
has gotten a makeover, sporting oddly bat-shaped eyebrows.
The Batmobile's lost a wheel, and the Joker got away. Whoa.
Oh, wait, no, he's been killed by a giant bell. Well,
this has not been Jack Ryder,
and this is not the news.
Oh my God!
Wow, that was a trip.
If the listener wasn't having a stroke before from one too many voices, they certainly are now. What lore accurate Hitachi one?
I was trying not to laugh over everything being said at that point.
Yeah. The thing that Dylan brought up with the like you're every bit the detective that your followers on the internet have led me to believe, or Brian, you were like, I hope you've used that line in a video before, and I shockingly have not.
Oh, Jamie, use that in a video.
Yeah.
Okay, write yourself a note. Don't forget.
Yeah,
I'll be looking in 12 years.
Dear Diary.
Yeah. Dr. Derp. Nighttime or Superman Master of Disguise. It's a little frustrating that a Superman episode manages to put Batman's extended rogues gallery to better use than most TNBA episodes. Oof. Then again, I can't complain too much about an episode where the joke is Clark Kent looks too much like Bruce Wayne for his own good. The subtle ways Clark struggles to disguise himself as Batman are so endearing. Has Batman ever said thank you to Commissioner Gordon before? Can't be as unnerving as hearing Tim Drake's voice coming out of Superman's mouth.
Agreed.
Bruce Wayne's vid mail had the same energy as normal SpongeBob if normal SpongeBob did a subtle evil chuckle. Hi, how are you, Lucius? I'm on an impromptu vacation. A poor guy is having a bad day, what with the ear injection of nanites taking over his mind. How ironic that this is probably the third best Mad Hatter episode behind Perchance to Dream and Trial. A good follow-up to World's Finest, but not a great one. Until next time, go gadget bat grapple hook that I totally know how to use. Theme from the Master of Disguise plays over the loudspeaker.
I would say the whole like it's on the right side is like my favorite lines in this show.
You would think that Superman would just look down and like X-ray vision his own belt to find all the stuff.
Right?
You got so much shit in here. How do you fit all of it in this belt?
You know, it would have been really funny as like a Family Guy cutaway gag is like we know that they swing off, but instead it just shows Superman hasn't shot it, but he's trying to fly.
He's flying in an arc.
I do like the like right side. No, there's no time. He knows I haven't. He knows I would know where it is by now. He just goes with his mouth,
just like a PNG, just like
he just glides across this.
Like Invincible, currently on Amazon Prime.
Jamie, I'm very glad that you're going to make this one a TikTok and show me later. Thank you.
It's a good thing I already have like stock images of Batman swinging, so I don't have to create anything.
But you just have to draw out the flight pattern.
Yeah, I sure do. That's keyframing. That's easy. Okay, this is from Lorenzo Valdez, Old Wombs. James Gordon and Bryaniac. Old Wounds aired the day I came out of the womb, which means from here on out, Jump on the Bat-Wagon will now be covering episodes and films released during my lifetime.
Gross.
That's where I stopped reading the email. That's always been a special personal trib for me regarding Old Wounds, an episode I love,
cool.
but which I think I do hold in higher regard because I have in mind the further details explored in the Lost Years. That's the comic version. As I watch or think about Old Wounds. Klana forever and always. Klana is Clark and Lana's ship name. Lorenzo Valdez. Okay, thank you for explaining that. This is from Eric LeBeau. Nighttime, or so another clone of Killer Croc was made by Intergang, but he got turned into a banana. He calls himself Banana Croc. Funniest shit I've ever seen.
Psst. Hey, Croc, if you're okay in there, say nothing at all.
Well, sounds like he's doing fine. Now, this episode is another one of my absolute favorites. I can't be the only one who thought it would have been hilarious if the end of the episode cut to Batgirl walking in on Dick beating the shit out of Roz only to tell him that they found Bruce. Also, it's funny watching Clark do his absolute best to emulate Batman after knowing him for only like a week.
Yeah.
Holding his cape, not looking Gordon in the eye. I kind of wish they leaned a little bit more into it, but not too much. Also, Ryan Hip, accept my friend request on Discord. I know that I used Yu Yu Hakusho music in the last voice message weeks after you did, and I'm going to continue using it, but we can still be friends who both like Yu Yu Hakusho. Also, who's your favorite character? Mine's Kurama. Until next time, keep calm and yap on. Alright, now time to make myself some dessert. Let's see, I'll need a banana first. Wait, there's a face on this. Oh, come on!
I like how we pitched that way up. That's super fun.
Yeah, because he's a little banana rock.
Yeah. I might have merged Man-Bat squeeing with Minion saying banana, but I didn't get my mail in time.
Oh no!
So it's like banana. Like it's
the like what were those brown bats and starlings or whatever
exactly.
LexCorp Cares nighttime comment. Can't talk now. Auditioning new orphans for Lex to mentor. XOXO LexCorp.
Good evening, Jambalaya, and I don't know, butter. It's LexCorp here. You know, I've heard that Batman's been faster than the speeding bullet and more powerful than a locomotive and able to kiss you with a passion that makes you both question everything you've ever thought about yourself, but also affirm everything you ever thought you could be. And I just kind of have like a message to the people of Gotham, and that's, you know, how does it feel? How does it fucking feel to try to kill an unkillable guy? You know, everyone's always asking, where's Lex? Why haven't we seen Lex? Where is he? Do you know how much more money it takes to try to kill an unkillable guy than it does to try to kill some weirdo with a bat fetish? It's so much more expensive, and sometimes he throws your robot in the sun, you have to try to make box work. And so I'm just so excited to welcome you to the hell charade that is trying to kill a man whose whole deal is that he's just a little bit better than you are. Anyways, best of luck to you. Bye.
Is it a fetish? It's like people say it is it's not a fetish though. Batman and bats.
Do we know that for a fact?
I mean, well, like I can't say
Bruce
what
Wayne
I want
crawling out of the cave in Mask of the Phantasm. Oh, it's a cave, all right. Judging by the number of bats that came out of it, it must be as big as the house. Just getting like way too excited about this.
I bet there's hundreds or thousands of bats.
Yeah, I bet there's so many bats.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back in just real quick. Don't come in.
I'm gonna count them all.
I'm gonna go in and then I'm gonna go out, and then I'm gonna go in and then I'm gonna go out.
This is from Jordan Newman, GCN Musical Moment for Nighttime.
You're listening to GCN Gotham City News with Jack Ryder. Tonight's top story, Batman's been kicking ass. According to eyewitness reports, he's been in rare form tonight. Is the Bat on steroids? We'll be investigating. In other news, Bruce Wayne apparently visited one of his aerospace companies where what seems to be an experimental launch went horribly wrong and exploded midair, but Mr. Wayne's PR team assures us that was, quote, supposed to happen.
Oh, God.
Now over to the music. I liked that the DSCRA showed up when the cops were waiting by the bat signal. I thought that was cool. The Roxy Rocket motif showed up at the beginning. That was a lot of fun. Love any episode of Superman where we get the Batman motif. And just generally cool Burton-esque music when we first transitioned to Gotham. Never apologize for loving your fandom and try to stay optimistic.
Scheduled rapid disassembly was what the quote was for that SpaceX rocket.
Oh, yeah, no, it was. Yeah, that's a very good
guy,
parallel.
Man. Fuck that guy.
I like the way that Bruce Wayne, for a couple things, he walks in and says like, okay, everyone, now that we've built the rocket and it's ready to launch, leave. And they all go like, what? And then he's like, yeah, get the fuck out. And they all right. And they walk into the hall and you can hear Bruce Timm as one of the like background like mumbling people being like, I don't know, billionaires, go figure.
It's like weird, wacky billionaires or something like that.
Yeah. And then those like 6 or 7 scientists know that they've set it for like manual launch or whatever. Like someone has to be inside of that. And then to them, they would only think that Bruce Wayne would be the one to do that. And they just go like, okay, fucking Elon Musk is just going to shoot the rocket himself, I guess. And then, but then when they find out that it explodes and Bruce Wayne's not dead, like, what do they think happened?
Who did he send in that rocket into space? They're
Batman's
dead.
been gone for a while.
When we left and walked down the hallway, I'm pretty sure I saw Batman and Robin in a closet, but I'm whatever.
Can we, let's just take a quick pause and say that while I don't know how the intercom system works in his little rocket laboratory he goes to the intercom, goes to the microphone, is just like, we're all alone now.
No, well, first of all, he's standing in the same like 12 by 12 foot room with these people and goes, okay, you can all leave. And they're like, hey, we're right here.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? And then, then when they leave, they go, okay, we're all gone. Or they're all gone now. Brainiac, you can come out of the closet now.
Right. They're like 10 feet down the hall.
Out of the closet.
I love the sound effect of him moving. It's such a good one.
Yeah.
It's so good.
When you said, no, not Dr. Octagonopus, as he's going out the thing, because he's just got the Dr.
Can't
Octopus.
not.
He comes out with that stupid ass bowl cut.
And he's voiced by Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
Which is why he didn't. Which is why he didn't win the Balderarchy today. It's that bowl cut.
Exactly. He was wearing a Dumb and Dumber wig for Halloween.
This is from Zenode. Hello, James Caesar and et tu, Brian. And Kyle. Nighttime is one of those episodes I adore for all the simple reasons. Superman interacting with Batman's Rogues Gallery, gold. Batman wearing the bat suit perfectly to become Bat Superman, or the Man of Night to some, awesome. Robin having to coach Clark in Bat Drama 101 so he doesn't look like a total dork in front of the commish, hilarious. This episode also has a lot of Silver Age mannerisms, like Clark suddenly having parrot powers and and sudden and probable villain matchups.
Throat magic.
Yes, it makes this episode a lot more toyetic than the more heavy and continuity-minded World's Finest. They're both different in feel and scale, but equally valid as crossovers and flesh out the DCAU in different ways. Leaving my little brother in charge of the city while I go on vacation to tropical Romania, Zeno. P.S. You think Brainiac ever ran into trouble while inside Wayne's computers? And it's this little comic of like a Windows 95 desktop with Brainiac saying, this Wayne tech is no LexCorp, but it will suffice. And then interrupted by halt intruder. And there's just Hardak all of a sudden saying, I am Hardak. A failed upload has left me stranded. I have been playing it's the 3D space pinball to pass the time. And then he says, can I come with you? And Brainiac says no.
I thought he was going to encounter Clippy.
Yeah, that would be good too.
You look like you're trying to take over a rocket ship. Can I help?
You need some help? Yeah. No, go away. True score, nighttime, or goddamn, what a damn good time watching a damn good Batman episode.
Can we just talk real quick how possibly one of the best episodes of Superman is like literally just a Batman episode? Like, does that say something about the Superman show, or like, I don't understand, because this was great. It's so fun. I always forget that Brainiac's the villain at the end, and I'm like, oh yeah, Brainiac. And then we watch the rest of the episode, and it's great. So, Superman, what's going on, man? Like, your show's just kind of, it's been rough, bro. And I mean, the new Batman Adventure's been rough too in the last couple of weeks. Like, we have had a dry spell, man, but oh my lord, this was better than like most of the other episodes, aside from maybe the first 3, which is technically just one episode if you think about it. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Till next time.
I don't know. You know, Brody, I like these, but I also missed what people said in the room with you while you were watching.
Those are so much fun. I love
gimmick.
Those.
Yeah.
Maybe if Brody stopped doing it, I'll get Sawyer and Melody to do it with me.
Someone else pick up the gimmick, yeah. Meatballs McGee, which is Robert Sterling. Nighttime, or Superman's got a little boy voice. Dear Jimmy and the Brain, apologies for the tardiness of the message, but I was busy getting over the fact that Nightwing and Batgirl left the 10-year-old to protect Gotham all by himself. On the other hand, nope, I got nothing. That's just stupid. Regardless, this is still one of my absolute favorite Superman episodes. The chemistry between Tim and Clark is really fun, and Robin gets some great banter. Also, Riddler is out here looking like he plays the flute in a jazz cover band. Till next time, good night, and fuck you from Big Buzz.
That was a direct reference to that show I had Robert Sterling came out for. And there's a local band here called Come Jazz You Are that does like Nirvana and 90s, like jazz covers of Nirvana and 90s songs. It was actually very good.
And there was a Riddler looking guy.
And there's a dude who plays a flute, and he was dressed up as the Riddler because it was like a Halloween kind of show.
And actually, something in the way the Batman. They do. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
And if you're Pinky and Brian is Brain, then I guess I'm Elmira.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Freakazoid. You can be Freakazoid. This is from Tip Tapricot, which we need to watch more Freakazoid.
Yeah, I know.
Freakazoid.
Chimpanzee. Contemplations on Nighttime.
It's Contemplations on Nighttime, and I'm back, baby, just like Superman, except I'm not as cool. And I've also had to re-record this like several times because there's a recycling truck right there that keeps being on my ass. It's super fucking loud. Thanks. Shout out to recycling. Woo, woo, woo. Anyways, I love this episode. It's a crossover that always surprises me whenever it comes up, and then I'm really excited to like see Superman and Batman interact. But I also really like this pitch for this crossover where it's Superman teaming up with Robin instead, because I think we get to see a lot more of Tim's personality. I like seeing Clark have to sneak around and have to see Tim teach him all the ins and outs of Batmaning and how everyone is like super put off by Batman being way stronger or way nicer or whatever. I think Tim is really awkward and snarky and cute, but he's also just like a kid and stuff. And also real glad in the end that Clark was double suiting up, because I would hate to get blasted by Brainiac and just have his dick hanging out for the rest of the fight. That's all in the episode. Yay! Bye.
Speak for yourself.
Superman walks out of the fire naked. This was not what I expected, or whatever he says.
Would they have known it was Superman?
Your dick is as big as everyone says on the internet.
Would Brainiac have known that it was Superman if his clothing was burned off? Just be like, you're some fucking guy.
I think he probably would have known his face or whatever. Yeah.
You think so?
He has AI facial recognition detection.
Fair. Okay.
Tip Taprica, I allowed another 10 seconds because they wanted to toss in a joke that they forgot to toss in.
Okay.
Oh, okay. James and Brian, quick, emergency question of the week, because apparently no one made this reference already. Are you dressing up for Halloween this year? If so, what are you dressing up as? It sure looks like Clark already found his Halloween costume. Okay, bye.
It was in Discord. They were like, wait, has anyone made a Halloween joke about dressing Batman and Superman? And I was like, nope.
Thanks for that, buddy.
I'm Blue Monstar.
Yeah.
And Brian is going as whatever you
Buster
said last
Keaton.
time. That's right. Kyle.
I'm probably going to wind up having two things. One for work. My team and I are being the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh. Okay. Which one are you? Wait, let me guess.
You guess.
Buttercup.
Nope.
Who's the green one?
That's Buttercup.
Fuck.
Green, dark hair. Yeah.
I'm being Blossom.
Okay. Personality-wise, it's good. Yeah.
And then for later, I am being Adam Banks from the first Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
Also known as the Cake Eater, because my favorite hockey team is the Anaheim Ducks. Movie relation came afterwards, but
I'm a Space Jam character. There's a link there. It's fine.
Yeah, I have. Somebody gave me a couple years ago an actual Mighty Ducks jersey from the first film, where it's like the actual anthropomorphized duck on the green jersey. So I have one of those.
Nice.
So I'm doing two things.
Okay. You're not going to just try to shove the Wolverine popcorn bucket onto your head and be Wolverine?
Mine's not. That would definitely not fit on my
small.
dome.
It's very small.
Yeah, we didn't get the one of him oral asphyxiation that you guys got in the States.
I never saw it. There's not any of that chain where I live, so I just...
Oh, okay. I do have the Dune one, but it's just off camera.
Yeah, for understandable reasons.
Yeah.
Mark Aquino
It's under the desk.
Yes. Nighttime or Roxy's way too thirsty out here, or everyone in Gotham's an idiot except for the Bat family. The concept of Superman disguising himself as Batman is an interesting one. His typical bursts of super strength and speed while in the Batsuit have some funny implications, as it makes Batsy's rogues gallery even more afraid of him than usual. Once Superman's mentioned nanites, I knew it was Brainiac. I just wish he had figured that out soon. He had figured that out sooner. Oh well. Not a whole lot else for me to say, but I think this is an all right episode. I enjoyed it overall. Boss Big Goose, not Big Goosta, Boss Big Goose, bear hugs to the number one podcast host in this year multiverse of ours, Jack, I want my snack, and belligerence. Praise to our Lord and Savior, Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast. Remember to tell Gab that she rules. Likewise to all his loyal disciples. All the names. There's so many names now. The last one listed is Kyle the Kyle. So
love it.
And of course, all the awesome sauce that added 2 more Kyles, 3 actually now to the list of Kyles, 4. And of course, all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours, all the absolute best. Don't you ever forget that. Speaking of pretending to be other people, I'm afraid I have to confess something. Last week, there was a tease that there's a banana Mark somewhere out there, and I'd have to find him. Well, I did, and it led to a shocking discovery. On the outskirts of my hometown, there's an abandoned building that used to be a milk bottling plant. I had never ventured inside it up until last week. But when I went in there, I found a containment pod, and inside it was a lonely soul under a deep sleep, blissfully unaware of what his situation was, his identity sending a shiver down my spine. The being inside the pod was me. But what does this mean, you ask? Oh, my dear Yoppie community, haven't you figured it out by now? The answer's been right in front of you the entire time, as it was for me. Jekyll and Hyde-like transformation. I am Banana Mark, and I am not okay. Lightning strikes.
I need fan art of that.
yeah. Till next week, banana smoke bomb that'll be blown up by a banana old whoosh, because I just flew away, baby.
Wow.
Oh, I got
My goodness, Mark.
It's the BTAS thing, so it's the silhouette of a dude, but then the lightning strikes, and it's a banana man, and then the lightning strikes, and it's just a man again.
And the
I'm leaving.
Swings
Bye.
into place, and there's
Exactly.
a banana.
It's the almost got him.
God.
The best.
All right, Brian, the name of the next episode
Yes, sir.
is Legends of the Dark Knight. Is it Batman or Superman?
Or a third one, it's Freakazoid?
No, man.
Yeah, Batman.
How did he know?
Yeah, okay.
Final
what
answer.
happens in Legends of the Dark Knight Batman episode?
Batman's origin story.
Oh, you're back. You bring that back.
Bringing it back. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Is that it?
Oh my God.
Is it going to be
Kyle,
some
you
kind of...
experienced you experienced the crackle.
Did I do...
I'm glad that only I don't hear it, because he just suddenly like, what's happening?
Yeah, is it some kind of like story of his becoming the Bat? Like some vaguely an origin story.
It's not.
He was so close in the beginning.
Related. Yeah, it's story related. It's not origin stories.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to give you any more than
I'd
that.
say nothing else. I think the vagueness will be good for this one.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we have 11 Superman episodes left, 6 Batman episodes left, 8 podcast episodes till show number 3.
Left
at all.
Someday
ever.
that'll be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's actually pretty sad to think about, but also thrilling.
We'll do an Avatar rewatch podcast.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I don't know.
Yeah, we will.
Either that or we'll just go, I never want to see each other again.
I think you should do the Marvel stuff, because it would be like new to everybody.
That's
like,
true.
Nobody has gone through those with a fine tooth comb.
I don't know.
There's some bad animation. It would be like throwback.
You're not sold, Brian.
I think we should do Legends of the Hidden Temple. Just my thought.
A very linear narrative story. Oh man, this one called back. There's some tribs for this episode.
Before we close out, Kyle, do you want to plug yourself?
Plug your shit.
It's kind of a weird thing.
I have a pretty
plug your own shit.
All right.
Use the popcorn bucket.
It's too far. My cable's not long enough. I actually kind of have a request from the listeners, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been on this journey with the Film Realist podcast. I've been fortunate to have the two of you as well as Dylan. I mean, maybe that wasn't fortunate. You'd have to listen to the episode to find out. No, I'm just kidding. It was great. And so the journey for the Film Realist has been really great, but I'm trying to kind of reach the next level with it. And so as I usually have at the end of my episodes, obviously like and review and all those stuff. But if you are listening on an Apple device and you have listened to the show, please leave a rating. There's a specific bar I need to hit for the next phase of the Film Realist podcast, which I would really appreciate. It doesn't have to be an iPhone. If you have an iPad, iPod Touch, whatever you may have, I would really appreciate it, because as great as my listener base is, and I love being a part of this show's listener base, I know there's been some cross-pollination. The day you're listening to this, upcoming Monday, I will be reviewing Agatha All Along, it's a show.
Brian goes, huh?
No, Laura's been watching it.
Oh, okay.
So look forward to that. If you want to listen to a more in-depth episode, I did recently review Venom: The Last Dance and season 3 of Legend of Vox Machina. So that came out.
This guy reviews everything.
Listener, I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna cut the guy off and just say, like, if you haven't given it a shot, please go listen to the Film Realists, REEL, by the way, not REAL.
That's the joke.
Yeah, well, I'm just for the roadmap. Go listen to Kyle's podcast. Do yourself a favor and do Kyle a favor and do James a favor and then do me a favor.
Do it for me only.
Do James a favor. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we all really need to think about here. No, but thank you for being here, Kyle. It's always fun to have you and to be on your show and all that stuff. And I always enjoy the fact that whenever we have someone who, like yourself, that is very good at talking, it's less for me to have to.
I am paid to talk in the real world, so it's nice to use it for fun sometimes.
Yes.
So thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to cross off a Superman episode.
Yeah.
Maybe not Brian's favorite, but that's okay.
Was it a Superman episode?
I barely counted,
It had Superman credits, so it counts, baby.
Okay, that's fair.
And I know you guys hate praise, but I'm going to do it anyways. I absolutely love this show. It has a unique perspective on the DCAU.
Well, that's all the time we have.
Good night, everybody.
No, thank you, Kyle.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, and thanks for being here.
We'll see everybody else in a week for Legends of the Dark Knight, unless we don't do it a week from now. That's always a possibility. See you later.
Bye, listener.
Kyle, say something funny to end this podcast.
Do we think she has to lube the rocket before she flies on it?
How are you feeling? Better. The nanites are dissolving away on their own.
I guess what that Brainiac guy toasted, they just need to self-destruct.
I'd check your computer systems anyway. Brainiac has a way of leaving a little of himself behind.
I hear the city's been busy.
Nothing the kid couldn't handle. I have to say, for a guy who's supposed to be such a loner, you sure know how to pick a partner.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, Eric LeBeau, Jordan Blumen, my mother, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian, Brother Broderick Meneely. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. Thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Tim Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of World's Finest Part 3, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Pod Tower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.